morning, everyone. It's Laura with Eastside Staffing. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I wanted to talk with you today about empathy. So when we think about empathy in a hiring process, we're usually thinking about the candidates, candidate care, candidate experience, making sure candidates feel seen and heard. Of course, we need that more than ever now, especially in this year going through the pandemic. But what I want to talk about a little bit more is the fact that empathy is needed not only for candidates, but also for the hiring manager and for the recruiter. So all three of these parties are part of a hiring journey. In fact, sometimes there are two recruiters, the internal or corporate recruiter and the external. So I am seeing a lot of burnout in the hiring manager community and in the recruiter community because empathy is sort of forgotten. So let me talk to you a little bit about it. When I've been training candidates, I talk a lot about putting your empathy hat on. And in fact, one of my attendees of my recent webinar sent me this hat, which I think you'll love. It says my empathy hat, which I will put on for you. So in the course, I said, everyone needs to put on an empathy hat. So now I have an actual one. And the idea was that when you're applying for a job, are you thinking about what's going through the mind of the recruiter? Are you thinking about what the hiring manager is going through when you're interviewing? And often we don't, because we're sort of caught up in the, not a bad way, but it's a self-absorbed process when you're job searching. You're thinking about your own journey. You're in a very sort of siloed bubble and you're fearful and you're just focused on your goal. Sometimes we forget to be empathetic towards the other people in the journey. So recruiters are going through a pandemic this year. Hiring managers are going through a pandemic this year. Recruiters who work in corporate have seen so many of their peers been let go or laid off or downsized during this time. Hiring managers are feeling really overwhelmed and stressed, managing families, managing this pandemic. It is not to dismiss behavior that feels bad. It is not to take away this idea of the journey being difficult. All three parties are struggling right now with a variety of things. And so the idea is just to step back and say, am I showing empathy? Am I letting people feel seen and heard? If I am the candidate, am I thinking about the hiring manager and recruiter? Am I acting kindly and empathetic towards them? If I'm the recruiter, am I doing the same for these two parties? If I'm the hiring manager, am I doing the same for these two parties? Ideally, everybody should be considering the fact that they're not on this journey alone, that it takes a village, and that all three parties want to avoid burnout, want to have a positive experience. One could even argue instead of just candidate experience, we can think about hiring manager experience and recruiter experience. Everyone wants that. Just think about a little empathy going into the rest of your week. Put on your empathy hat and do well. I'll see you soon.